guys, and welcome back to another great episode of Pardon Our Honesty. I'm Tiffany,
I'm Megan.
and today we are talking about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we're just going to start with one and keep going until
Until
we
we,
don't have anything else to talk about. Okay,
yeah.
guys, so get on for the ride. All right, we're going to let Megan start first because she has the bright idea.
So we were discussing how last week I, had talked with a few friends, clients, whatever, and the conversation came up. And we had a very long conversation about the advancement of 20 and 30-year-olds, as in, well, a couple of things. So one, when they're having babies, the like they have Keurigs that make the bottles and all this stuff, right? Everything's very high end and everything's whatever, which led into the conversation of 20 and 30-year-olds driving $60,000 vehicles, top of the line clothes, buying big ass houses, doing all this stuff that a lot of people worked their whole life for, or they established it over time. And the conversation came up is this younger generation, have they been set up by us as parents that this is what you should have because this is what you were raised with?
Okay.
Or are they trying to keep up with the Joneses on social media? Like, oh, I can't live here. They've got to see that I live here and I can't drive a beater. I got to drive a nice car. They're all competing against the world. Or is it just that this age group has done so much better with their careers that they can have things sooner than when we had it?
Oh, Jesus. I have no idea. I will say that having a conversation with my daughter this morning about one of her friends that just had a baby and how the only thing in the diaper bag was some diapers. And I think she brought a bottle and maybe a blanket. She didn't bring a pacifier. She didn't bring formula. And that's all she had. And I was like, what happened to the parenting and the training of, baby, when you're getting ready to leave, the diaper bag is already prepared all the time. So you just got to grab it and go. And all the essential items are in there. Wipes, Pampers, blah, 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 change of clothes. And the girl had to leave the house and go to the store to get the formula for the baby or the pacifier because she started crying. And I was like, what did you... But anyway, yes, there are so many advanced technologies for parents nowadays that I'm absolutely fascinated with everything, like the little stroller that you one click and it collapses and it's so light and you just throw it in the bag and
well, they were telling me there's a car seat too that's like $500. It's a swivel car seat. So it's an infant car seat, but then it swivels and adjusts and does all this stuff all the way up until they're like 12. And I'm like,
12?
Yeah, because now if you're not over certain weight and height, they're saying you still need to be in a booster seat. There'd be 16-year-olds in a booster seat.
$500. I did not have $500.
And there's Keurig machines to make your bottles. So you put your formula in it, the water's in it. It makes your bottle the exact right temperature. I was like, I had no idea. Like, I'm so out of baby. I have no idea. And I'm thinking, in a way, I'm like, these are genius.
Yeah.
But then does it also take away from some of the parenting part? You know what I mean? Like testing the bottle on your wrist and like making a bottle and like, or is convenience great? Like, I don't know. That's great.
I think convenience is great, but I think in those small tasks of doing stuff like that, it teaches you other things besides, okay, the temperature is right for the baby. Because when you go to put the baby in the bathtub, are you testing the water like you should? Because you don't have to test the bottle. I don't know. That could be dangerous. But for the question of, have we trained the kids?
But that's like, so yeah, not to interrupt you, but think about that. If you start a baby with these high-end things, and as they grow, they're getting every high-end toy, every high-end thing, every high-end sport experience, every high-end clothes. And now they're 18 moving out on their own. Are they going to have a level of expectation at 21 when they get married, or 22, that we need to have this big house and these nice cars because that's what I was used to my whole life?
Some of them will. But hopefully throughout the parenting, you started teaching them, I work for this, and this is how you're going to work to earn
Okay, but do you think that happens?
Okay.
Because we've talked about this before. A lot of kids are handed stuff.
Yes.
Like, there is no work to gain. As long as you're a great kid, you don't have to like work to earn. You don't have to be appreciative of stuff. You don't have to like, and they just get. So does that mentality is what carries over to the expectation? Because there's times I'm like, We freaking spoiled our kids. Now
We
they're like,
did.
"What trip are we going on?" We have to take a trip in Colorado this year for the
Yes,
boys
yes.
soccer. So that's probably gonna be our trip until later in the year or next year. What? What? Like, and I'm like, this will be another $10,000 trip. And it's like, "Ugh, we're so lame. And this, well, my friends did this and my friends are doing
Oh,
that. And my friends, and I'm like, we did this. We created this.
well, I mean,
You know what I'm
okay, but
saying?
out
So
of
like,
an abundance of just trying to give them experience, I know my generation and your generation, we did things to make our children's lives better because our lives weren't terrible, but they weren't really great. So I want to show my kids, hey, you can go to Disneyland because I always wanted to go to Disneyland when I was a kid. Or you can go on vacation and go across the world because that was something I wanted to do as a young person and never got a chance to. But hopefully, God, hopefully, probably not, that I taught them that I worked for us to be able to do this. I sacrificed in order for us to be able to do this. It didn't fall out the sky. You got a beater car because that's what I could afford, but you got a car. And when you get older, hopefully those same things I did for you, you'll do for your children. But I don't,
but I also think like when I
we,
was in school, right, we never took family vacations. The only thing we ever did was went to Wisconsin where some of my dad's family
yeah,
lived. Okay. And we might have gone to Wisconsin Dells like one time. It's like a theme park, not even a theme park. It's
yeah.
like a, I don't know. Looking back, it was really nothing. But but we didn't. I don't know if it's because we didn't have the technology and the
Okay.
phones, but I didn't know what my friends were doing all summer. You
No.
come back in from summer break and you tell your little, what I do
Yeah.
over the summer. Most
Yeah.
kids said nothing, sat at home,
Yeah.
whatever. And that was normal.
Yeah.
Like I never even really thought about Disney, to be honest, until I became an adult and people talked about Disney. And I was like, oh, I've never been. We should take my kid.
Mhm.
Like it was never when I was younger. I was happy. We played outside
Yeah.
and we just had fun with
No
your
problem.
friends. And
Yeah.
when you left school, you left school. But now I wonder if it's almost like an expectation because you're seeing what everybody's posting and you're seeing what everybody's doing and their
Yes.
job and their income. And so they're like, well, I can't, if they see me and I'm driving this. And there's some people who really put themselves in debt to look good.
I
And
well,
they're 25 years old or 30 years old. Like, why are you doing that?
yeah, and I do know that, okay, well, if I get in trouble, there's a safety net that you can just take advantage of to get yourself out of trouble and start over. But and that's bankruptcy. I don't know how common it is for people to use it, but I don't know. You wanted to give your kid the best chance at a life to start. So I always told my kids, okay, you got to go to college because that's how you're going to get a degree to be able to take care of yourself and have all the things that I have. But I don't think we share enough as parents the struggle we went through. When did we
Mm,
buy our first house? I didn't buy my first house until I was in my 30s. I didn't buy my first brand new car until I was in my 40s, like spanking new right off the car lot. Like, I'm going to buy this car, it has 0 miles. I didn't do that until I was in my 40s. I didn't start doing a whole bunch of trips and a whole bunch of other stuff with money that seemed significant until I was in my 40s, honest to God. And they probably don't know that. They probably always thought,
this has been
"Oh,
a
she was just well off. She could do all the things." They don't know about the months where, "Oh, shoot, we only got $200 left for the next week. What the hell are we gonna do?" Or the credit card debt we done paid off 2 or 3 times. Or, "I can't buy a brand new car. We're gonna get this used car that's 3 or 4 years old and pray to God it lasts for another 2 or 3 years." We don't talk about that. So they see the great, wonderful, good, and why can't I have that? Because I have one right now
yeah.
that's like, I should be the top promoter of this brand, absolute fabulous personal trainer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at him like, but what are you doing to get to that? Because I don't see
It's
that
not
you're
just going to
doing anything.
happen.
It don't happen overnight. You
But
got
I
to put in some work.
but I
But
also
that's
think
his expectation.
But I think on the flip side though, like we in our house, and then I feel bad because okay, you read stuff on social
Yeah.
media. In our house, we talk about money a lot.
Mhm.
We talk about money a lot. We talk about budget. We take their checks. We don't take their checks, but we look at their checks and say, how much are you going to put in savings? How much are you planning for the future? And
Mhm.
how much do you want to spend? And we
Mhm.
talk about it. But we also talk about our bills. Like our kids take 30-minute showers. right? 30 minutes minimum. So our electric bill at the one house is like the electric and water is over $600 a month sometimes.
Oh.
So we sit down with them and we say, this house doesn't run by it's 600 and some dollars, or when we take our trips, we don't like nickel and dime, but we do tell them, hey, we can't go balls to the wall. This is a $20,000 trip, or this
Mhm.
is let's break it down. So, and then I read things and people are like, your kids should never know about what you're spending, and you shouldn't make your kids feel bad about spending, and you shouldn't make your thing. And I'm like, in this day and age, everything's electronic. At school, you don't see money. They're not seeing
Yeah.
money anywhere from
You're
hand to
so
wallet.
right.
Like
You're so
you
right.
don't see it. So in their mind, this money is magical and never
Yes.
ending.
It's never
So
ending.
if
You
you're
just go
not
punch
taught
in the
right,
ATM code and the money will come
so,
out.
like, then people are like, "You shouldn't talk about that," and the kids will make comments like, "We know it's expensive," and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Well, we're not trying to be dicks about it,
Yeah.
but, like, you guys, number 1, to show appreciation, like, this trip isn't a $50 trip for us to go get ice cream from Harris Teeter and everybody get a little thing of, what do you call
Sprinkles?
the
Hot
little
fudge?
things no, the little things ice cream, the ones that have, like, fish food, and I can't remember the brand, but anyways, for all of us to get one, for 5 of us, even yesterday, 4 of us to get one, $30
Oh god.
and 1 bag of chips. And I told Kingston in the car, I was like, "See, look, like, nothing's cheap.
No.
This could be somebody's 4 hours of work." Like,
You're absolutely right.
and it's not to be jerks about it, but I think they have to realize that now that they're paying for stuff on their own,
Mhm.
they're starting to see
Mhm.
that a little bit. But is it too late? Because they still have an expectation of, like, they just have an
I don't think
expectation.
it's too late. I think reinforcing that even as they become adults and saying, "Don't call me, I'm not the bank," which I have a terrible habit of being the bank, will help them see that, okay, yeah, I worked hard for the last 30, 40 years to get to where I am. I didn't do it overnight. And if you think back to sometimes when you were a kid, you can see, oh, those were the lean years. Those were the really good years because we did different things in those years. But not being the bank as they become adults and letting them fall is something I feel my generation has a terrible time at doing because we just want their lives to be so much better than ours was.
And easier and
Yes,
yeah.
but was our life really that terrible? It
No.
taught you
Yeah.
responsibility. You don't go out here and buy everything under the sun knowing that you're going to be broke and you're going to have nowhere to live. But they will do that and look at mom and dad like, please help me. I don't know what to do. My kid's going to be on the street. You know, you love the kids. You don't want them to be on the street. So give us some money. And you keep doing that, and that becomes a routine. So, yes, while they may be getting in debt and living the high life, they're living off of you too.
Yeah, and that's what another thing too, like with the older kids, we're like, you still have to pay your $100 a month
Mhm,
insurance. That's it, okay? And
mhm.
they're in college, and some people are like, I can't believe you have them do that. They should focus on their studies, and they should. Well, what's going to happen when they walk out of college? If they're not set up to learn how to manage their money and pay bills, that means they come into my house or they're coming to my
Exactly.
bank account.
Yes.
So, like, when do we teach that then?
Um, I don't know, and I
And do
did
people not care about credit? I mean,
no,
debt, does that
no,
generation just
no.
do not care if
They
you
don't care.
have
No,
50 grand
no,
in debt?
no, because look at student loans. Honestly, unless you just prepared yourself and got yourself into a position where college is not going to cost you, most young
Yeah.
adults are walking out of college with at least
But that's
$50,000
okay, so that's the
debt.
other thing though. Like one of our daughters, we said, "Hey, you can make your own choices,
Mhm,
okay? But if you stay here and go to a community college, you'll make money off of your VA
mhm.
benefits. You can get your associates knocked out and then figure out life from there. You might want to go away, you might not, you might go into a job, who knows?" No, 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 no. They want to have the college experience, college experience, college experience. Now there's some debt, and now they're like, I don't want the debt. Well,
Baby, you don't get to choose. Too late now. You
yeah,
signed on the dotted line
yeah,
and you went to school and had that college experience.
yeah.
You're going to pay for that.
Now you got to pay for it.
Yes.
And now she's like, I don't think next year. I think I might come home because I don't want to keep having a debt. I'm like,
Mhm.
that we try. We try. It's so cool to say all my friends are going to college. I want to go to college, but and then you get well, her family's paying all their bills. Well, that's
We don't
great.
have that family.
We don't have that.
You do not have that family. I can't afford to pay for your college. That's why I told you when you were in high school, if you're going to college, you need to
Start
get a
planning.
scholarship or you need to be prepared to pay your own student loans. So I'm not paying that.
Yeah.
I done got you through high school where you didn't have to have a job, paid a whole bunch of bills. Your whole job was go to
Yeah.
school, get good grades, and go to
And,
college.
like, I will always help our children with certain
Yeah.
things, but I'm not gonna fund your social life, and I'm not gonna so our kids in those 20s, 30s, do they just wanna have the nice things, it doesn't matter what it costs? And maybe it depends. Maybe if
It
they're dual
depends.
military and they know they have a regular paycheck, they're less concerned.
Yes,
But if you're
absolutely.
but if you're working down like, I have some clients last week that told me they got laid off, both of them in September, and
Mhm.
now they've gotten new jobs. Well, if you planned a lifestyle based on a certain income, and
You in
now that
trouble.
income
You
changed,
in trouble.
what happens?
You need to start selling everything in the house.
I mean, yeah, you've gotta get
You
but
got
they're
to
so
figure it out.
accustomed to a lifestyle, I think it's hard for them to do that. I think
Why?
it's hard for them to go to the basics and just be, "Hey, we need to move into a little apartment. We need to sell one of the cars. We need to stop
But
shopping."
that is something I feel like our parents and we did as young people. Like, if I got into a situation right now that, oh shoot, life's about to get real crazy for me, I'm selling every single thing I got. I
I'm
don't care
hustling.
how much I paid for it, where it's going, who want to buy it, who knows that Tiffany is in trouble. I'm selling everything I darn got because I got to figure out a way to start over. And I do feel like one thing that we took away from our kids is that falling flat on your face and having to figure out how to get back up. We took that away. So they don't know how to do that. I also read an article the other day. They're saying right now, because of the way the economy is, because of AI, there are a whole bunch of people who graduated with a degree can't get a job.
Mhm.
So that is going to become more of a thing, I think, as companies streamline and um, figure out what they're going to do as far as the workforce is concerned and how they're handling administrative tasks and all of that. Because I can just tell AI to send emails and data
Well,
mine
that's
and
what we tell
figure
the
out
kids.
stuff
I'm
all the
like,
time.
"Get an internship somewhere now. Like, start building connections and relation." I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I wanna work here for $9 an hour. But one of our kids, I was like, "Here."
$9 an hour? You can't live off $9 an hour.
Right? So, think ahead, right? So one of our kids, I'm like, "Listen, you need to find another job because your job is limited hours, and with your schedule, you need another job so you can work Sundays, Wednesdays, like, get some hours." And you know what he says?
I'm good.
"I'm good because, other jobs have, like, rules and stuff. Like, my job, I can kinda come in late if I'm late, I can eat food, and I can leave if I need to leave, but other jobs have too many rules.
What the
Too
heck?
many rules and requirements."
Oh my gosh.
I'm like,
Oh my
"Is this
gosh.
is this Is this where we're leading towards?" And now he's the youngest. So is this generation going towards the easiest, the least amount of work required, the least amount of rules, and that's what's going to guide them instead of saying, "I want to get more money and work a harder job and have rules and learn how to be, like enforced." Because he literally was like, "I don't want to do that because
That's
yeah."
wild.
So is that the next generation? Just easy, easy. I feel like it's
I
got to be
think
easy.
yes.
They
I
don't want to
think
work and
yes. I think this generation period saw, especially during COVID, that change in how we work. Everybody became a fast social
Mhm.
media influencer, rich person, and that is what they aspire to be. There's nobody looking to, I can't say nobody. There are very few individual teenagers that I know that are saying, I want to be a teacher. I want to be an accountant. I
Mm.
want to do this job that's just an everyday job. You go and do it and you're done. Everybody wants to get the next big thing, hurry up and make money real fast and become rich and buy everything so I can show it to the world.
Yeah.
So social media for us,
As
like you said, we didn't know what everybody else
else
was
was
doing.
doing.
I saw you at school. Ooh, you got on some new Jordans. Those
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't afford
And
that.
they'd say, "It's my one pair for the whole
Right?
year,
Yeah.
not one pair for every
Yes.
season, not
No.
one pair. We got one pair for the school
No,
year."
that is so true. And you kinda just was like, "Oh, that's cool." Went on about your business. You hung out with those that you like, people you didn't like. You sat in the corner, you talked about them. But that's something that we didn't have. And for them to be completely influenced every single minute of the day, I gotta see what's happening in the world. Who has the latest, greatest thing? And
Mhm.
can I get it? Can I convince my parents to get it? I think that instant gratification is what's driving the young people to get what they want because that's what they're supposed to have, but not even think about the consequences on the back end. Because if I buy a $80,000 car, do you know how much that costs?
Right. Well, and it was funny because one of our kids, got into a car accident and he thought it was just going to be $300 to fix everything, right?
No.
Well, now it's turned into probably almost $1,000. And that's not including repainting the car because he's getting mismatched pieces. And he is just like, this is crap. This is where I'm like, what do you think?
I don't they don't.
But that's what I'm saying. I just don't think and even if you do have, like we said, say you're dual military, you have great income, and you're still stretching yourself so thin. I am sure there is stress there.
Yes.
So, like, why put that burden of? Because let's see, I got married at 22 or
Mhm.
23. We lived in an apartment. Me and my husband at the time shared a little car. And then I started working again and we got another car.
Mhm.
Then we finally bought our first house. I think it was 25 maybe. Very modest house. It was not the most expensive,
Mhm.
modest house.
Mhm.
And we were in there for a very long time, 8 years or something before, 7 years before we upgraded to something else. And we, in that time before that, we racked up $30,000, $40,000 in
Yeah.
debt. We were struggling. Groceries were going on a credit card. I mean, we didn't go to my parents or his parents. That was
Mhm.
they'd never know.
No.
You didn't do that.
No.
So we went to the Dave Ramsey thing at church and we
Mhm.
paid it all off. But like now kids are just jumping out the gate with debt and they don't care and credit cards and fancy cars. And I'm just like, I remember how I felt so consumed and
Mhm.
pressured and stressed making those payments
Yes.
and not having the money and having to put it on a credit card,
Yes.
open another credit and do this and do that. And to think that that's the norm now for
Yeah,
people,
it is.
it's
It
scary.
is because you see it now with
It's gotta be a stress.
with everything being more expensive. I
Yes,
mean,
that
gas
too.
just went up, what, 70 cents?
Mhm,
And if I was already struggling just to pay for the gas at the price it was before, now I'm really struggling.
mhm,
And what are you cutting so that you can still make
right.
ends meet?
And when you
I don't know
suggest
that
cutting
they
something like, "Hey, you should maybe just get rid of your cable." No, I can't. I watch my favorite TV shows. Why don't you just get one streaming for $12? No, I need the live version for 60 some. Well, then you don't wanna save money or you don't
so
wanna pay off because I
I
can tell you right now how to cut expenses.
right?
Oh, I'm not giving that up. I'm
Yeah,
not doing
because
that.
I
I'm
was
not.
thinking one of them has a cell phone bill that's $200 for one phone and the internet. And I'm like, I pay that for 4 lines. Why are you paying
Yeah, or
$220?
go to Cricket and get one for $30, but then they won't do it because the brand. I can't
I,
have a
I,
Cricket phone. I
I
can't. People think I'm
I can't
poor.
cut my stuff. It's very important. I need to have it. $200
Dollars that
worth? No, I'm going to the library
I
and I
mean,
will sit there all day long and use their Wi-Fi
or
and
cut
have.
the Wi-Fi from your house and just use a hotspot on your phone. I mean, there are ways to cut expenses, but that's the thing. Nobody wants to give. It's like they haven't had the struggle, so they don't want to have the struggle. So they're just going to
Hmm.
refuse to have the struggle and keep paying or put it on credit cards or something.
That's wild. But yeah, credit cards scare me.
They
I
do.
am very terrified of credit cards. I remember when I was a young person going through some of the stuff I went through. That's all the way I could pay for gas.
Yeah.
And I'm in the military.
Hmm.
I'm in the military, little E3, probably getting ready to be an E4, and I'm having to put my gas to go to work on a credit card.
Hmm.
And how hard that was because that card at the end of the month, you had to pay your bill off.
Mm,
That was the best card I ever had. I wish I had never gotten any other cards besides that, but I had to pay that off. So at the beginning of the month, I'm already short
right.
because I
You
got
had
to
to pay that
pay for the
off.
gas
Yeah.
that I got on credit at the beginning of the
But
next
listen,
month.
I'm not gonna say any names. So one of the boys' friends created a fake GoFundMe that his car broke down and needed money, hoping to just raise it instead of getting a job.
They did.
Then he finally said, "I'm gonna get a job. It's not working." But they wanted to. I mean, I'm
It's
like, you want to
yeah.
scam people before you go work?
Yeah, because that's easy. Alright, that's easy. People will feel sorry for me on the social media and give me money. I'm glad he didn't get any.
Yeah, he did not get enough. But I was like,
Hilarious to
just go
even think
work.
about that.
Just
I
go work. Like, why is?
no.
And then one of the kids said, "Yeah, my dad won't let me work until my grades come up." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, so I did some yard work and he paid me a little bit of money and then I feel bad he has to pay me though, like for doing yard work." I said, "No, he's trying to teach you responsibility, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "But what about a job?" "Well, no, he won't let me get a job till my grades come up." And I'm like,
What
So
the
if I
heck?
don't wanna work, my motivation is not to get my grades up. Like, to me, I would have been like, "You still gotta work and you still gotta get your grades up."
Well, yeah, because I didn't have no choice. I went to school and
Right.
had jobs.
Like, I
Jesus.
mean, so that's what I'm saying, like, we do wanna make it easier, and I
Yes.
hear people all the time say, "You don't wanna stress your kids out, and your kids need to be kids," and, but I'm like,
But they're not being kids.
they're
They're
not.
not. They're
They're not
being
playing.
miniature adults
Yes.
on their devices,
Mhm.
tablets, cell phones, computers.
They're not being
They are not
kids.
being kids.
Mhm.
I feel bad for children today
Mhm.
because I'm a great fan of ChatGPT. It makes my life so much easier, but I do have a creative mind. If I wanted to make a picture, draw something, create a story, blah, 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 I could just do it, right? Kids today,
Cannot.
they don't play with dolls.
Mm-mm.
They don't
Barely play
play they
outside.
don't play outside. They don't play with the little army men. They have no
They
creativity.
don't play tag or hide and seek. They don't go on walks in the neighborhood. They don't go explore in the woods. Like, they sit on their phones or they sit
All
on a gaming
day,
device,
every
and
day.
we're
And
supposed to
you're
support that.
wondering why I can't have a conversation with my young person outside of, oh, what happened on TikTok today? Oh, what happened on Snapchat
What
today?
do people
Oh,
call it? Brain rot? Okay, when you're around my kids, it's literally you were there. It's brain rot in person. It's like little skits and little whatever. It's like no conversation. Sitting in church, I had to keep grabbing the boys. Like it is like literally 2 5-year-olds bouncing off the walls for 30 minutes. And it's like their brains are so used to
you got to
constant
something. Yeah.
stimulation that when you ask them to sit there, it is a true struggle. Or you try to have a normal conversation, there's got to be a meme prompt, there's got to be a song edit or a TikTok thing, or it's like you literally cannot have.
They have no creativity.
It's like, oh my
Right,
gosh.
and I don't know what is going to happen. Like, I was talking to a young lady yesterday, she says she's getting a marketing degree. Okay, great. I said, "Are you using AI?" She was like, "No, I'm trying not to." And I was like, "Okay, that's probably a good thing because you need to have the fundamentals and the creativity of your own mind before you incorporate AI into it." But I also think you're gonna have to figure out how to use
You're right. Because it will
AI
take
for
your idea
yes.
and make it way
10
better.
times
Yeah.
better, but, her doing that on her own, I was like, "That's really good. I'm glad that you're taking that initiative to get in your creative mind, understand how you think and what you do and what you could give to a client versus, I'm just gonna put it in AI and let it tell me what to do."
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
so
a Facebook page I follow. It's called Sergeant Gomez. He's like a resource officer at some school somewhere, I don't know where.
mhm,
But he shared an article and was saying how if your children are on social media more than 4 hours a day, social media is raising your child more than you are.
that's true.
Because they're at school most of the
Yep.
time and then they sleep. So if they're on that 4 hours or more on social media, it's raising it more than you are. It's having a bigger influence.
But I can't I don't understand the draw of a lot of platforms for social media. I understand Facebook, which is probably the old people
Yeah,
social media.
that's what they
I
say.
keep up with what my friends' kids are doing now because half of them are almost grown, or who's had a birthday, who just went on a fancy trip, and who's getting married or divorced, life changes, stuff like that. The rest of the social media, I can't.
I mean,
Shopping,
I will
I
catch myself.
can't.
Let me tell you,
I can't.
if I let that's why I do not have I don't know if we could say other things, but I don't have TikTok on my
Yeah.
phone because I know it'll be a time suck. But I get on Instagram once in a while and I get on the reels and I see one thing that's hilarious and then I just keep and I'll look down and it's been 30 minutes and I'm just scrolling for no reason. So I literally have to I just put my phone down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
can't.
just consciously go to work or go do something, do laundry, just so I can stop the cycle of the swipe.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
like,
and then I feel like that if I ever get on there, the next time I go on, I don't even see my friends and the people that I
yeah,
wanna see because I looked at reels and now every time I swipe up, it's another reel similar to that or
yep,
another ad
yep.
similar to that. And it's just like, how how do they not feel overstimulated? And is that
But I
what's
also
happening
think
to them?
it
Is they
is
just
their
overstimulated?
overstimulation. And I think too, the same thing like you said, the shopping.
Yeah.
Like our kids want to buy everything they see online. Like it's on TikTok shop and all that. Oh, I got that from TikTok shop. I got that from TikTok shop. I got that from
No, that's the
so
thing.
yeah. So I think you're right. They're getting so much in front of them. It's just an instant. Like we had that bet with one of our kids last week. He spent $100 in 1 week. 1 week on shit. And come to find out he was getting money from other people, so he spent more than that, probably $130 in 1 week. So they are an impulse, do what you want, what makes you happy, you be you, if it makes you happy, go buy it, and that's what they do.
But I also so for me, yes, I am not financially stressed. I could do better with some things, but even now, I was always a person that loved the thrift store. I took my kids to thrift stores when I was in the military. I would go buy my little clothes I'm gonna wear on the weekend from the thrift store. I still do that now. And my thing is, okay, if I'm gonna buy something new, well, you gotta go through your closet and get rid of something that you already had that you're not wearing anymore and sell it so you can buy something new. And if you can't do that, then you can't buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And this generation, thrift stores, I think for a while were like, "Ugh." Now this generation can be it's cool and trendy to go to
mm,
a thrift store.
I love a good thrift store.
Mm-mm.
And there are some really nice, they're not thrift stores, I guess they're called consignment
Assignments.
shops
Yeah.
that have resale items of those very high end stuff you're
Right.
trying to buy for $5,000. Maybe
Yeah.
you can get it at the consignment shop for 2,500.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Who's gonna know?
I,
Nobody would know.
no, because why would you ask me?
Right.
If you ask
Exactly.
me, I'm gonna say none of your business.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to know, and you shouldn't be asking me that.
Yeah.
But most people know if Tiffany got on something
But the
fancy,
thing
it
is,
came
though,
from
that
thrift.
generation shows it off. Like, you buy a nice purse, we could barely get you to wear it. But like this generation, 20, 30-year-olds, they get it. Everybody's seeing it. Like we posting, we bought it. We post in our closet. We're posting everything.
I
And
can't do that.
I don't
I
know
guess
if
I
it's,
felt like
I don't know if it's for confidence. I don't know if it makes them feel good or if they're just proud of
I
it.
think it makes me feel like people are gonna be like, "Ugh, she's just trying to show off and be fancy that she got something new and it costs $1,000. We don't want to see that." So that's what I'm thinking in my brain. So no, I'm not gonna post it
But
for
if I
social
brain, I'm like,
media.
why do I need to post it for anybody?
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, it was something I
Like,
liked.
I
I
usually
wanted
post
it.
my family stuff or I
Yeah.
post whatever, but I didn't post I got a new car. I didn't post like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like, 'cause why does it, I mean, yeah, it's cool and I liked it. I was excited, but why do people gotta be all up in my business? 900 people, something like, why?
I don't know. And my kids are notorious for like, Mom, you got a new car? When'd you get this? You guys are so rich. No, baby, I am not rich. I try to be smart with my money. Try to use things I know. Okay, if I bought a new car, because I bought a new car, it can be used for this, this, and this, and
Yeah.
that's a benefit, and maybe a tax write off or something like that. But it's not. I'm just going out here buying fancy stuff without thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm
Impulse. Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah.
what is the payment.
That's
If
true because
something
you got a car that
happens,
was affordable for you. You didn't go get
yes,
the car you
no,
wanted.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely not, because
Yeah.
right now I don't feel like I can afford it. And I think that instant gratification, like you were saying earlier, is something that we learn to curtail very early in life, because the car that I really want, if I went out and bought it, I would throw up in my mouth every day I got in it,
Yeah.
because I would be thinking about, well,
Could I
shoot,
really do this? Should I have done something else? And yeah.
what if something happens in the world, God forbid, how am I gonna pay for this car?
Right.
Am I gonna let it go back? Because credit, back in the day, credit was very important to us.
Yeah.
A credit score. If you didn't have good credit, you had
You couldn't do
crap.
anything.
You
Yeah.
could not do anything in life. And so making sure I didn't get a repossession, I don't have late payments on my credit file and all that stuff is very important to me. I don't know if we don't even teach that anymore.
They don't I mean, that's why they don't have home ec at all. Like,
No,
let's learn
I
about
love that
managing money.
class.
Let's learn about basic cooking, basic sewing, basic stuff like you're saying. They don't even have that anymore. It's
Yeah,
like they don't feel it's important. That's a real life thing we should be preparing them for.
we
Like,
should. We should. I
it,
had to sew my sweater yesterday. I
mhm.
I bought this cute little sweater. Probably paid $5 for it from the thrift store, and looked at it. I was like, "Oh shoot, it's got a little hole in it." I sure got my needle and thread out and sewed it right on up.
Because
Ain't nobody
otherwise
can
they'd probably
tell.
just throw it out. They'd probably just throw it out.
I,
Now,
see, you
last
can
last
tell.
question. Do you think it's our responsibility to leave money to our children when we die?
Ooh,
Or should we save that question for another time?
no, I think that is a great question. I'm conflicted about the question. I would say you should, at a minimum, leave your children enough money to accomplish whatever kind of ceremony, celebration of life that you want to have. Outside of that, I'm so sure you should leave them money. Um,
'Cause you hear some people are, like,
I
literally
don't know.
hoping, like, they're counting on their
Yeah.
parents' money, and I'm like, I mean, would it be nice? Sure.
Sure.
I'd love it. But if not, okay, you lived your life and you
Yes.
spent your money. That's what
Yes.
you worked for.
Yes.
Like, but I feel like there's this expectation that parents should
And I
absolutely
feel like
like,
if you already know you have an inheritance, what is the drive or what is the incentive for you to do the best you can with your life if you know when my parents die, I'm gonna get $500,000.
yeah, so
You
it'll
don't have
pay
no
this all
incentive.
off, or it will do this,
You
or
don't have
yeah.
no incentive. You don't have nothing that's driving you to make your life better except hoping and wishing and praying and waiting when they're gonna die. Hurry up and
I
die so I
know,
get the
it's
money.
so
Hurry up and
creepy.
die. So I would say if you're going to leave something for your children, one, it should be in a trust. Please put it in a trust. I can't tell you how many people I encounter. I talked to a young lady just 2 weeks ago who loved one passed away. They feel they are owed something, but because there was no will, you got to take that through probate, and the
Mhm,
state is going to decide
mhm,
what you, as their loved one, should get from their estate. So I would put it in a trust. I would clearly spell out what you want, the money, the property, whatever you're leaving them,
mhm.
what you want to happen with it. And if it's a house or something, then you got to be prepared or have that trust prepared that there's some kind of money gonna go into it that's gonna pay the taxes, to pay the mortgage,
Yeah.
to help pay the upkeep. Because I believe in my heart of hearts, whatever I leave my kids, half of it'll be sold before I'm been in the ground 6 months. I ain't lying.
I mean,
It'll
probably,
be sold off, and that
probably.
money will be gone and spent on
That's why I've
frivolous
seen a
stuff.
lot of people
Yeah,
put their trusts and stuff that they can't touch it till they're like
yeah,
30,
yeah,
35, something like that,
yeah.
so they're out of that, maybe more into a family
Yes,
aspect, but
absolutely. Or I know a young lady in my family, her father passed away and he had a lawsuit, and the money that she's going to get is not going to come to her till she's 21. So they've been preparing for this receipt of money for her whole life. And I finally asked the question, well, how much is it? And when they told me how much was it, I was like, that'll be gone in a day.
yeah.
There will be nothing to show for that
Especially when you
money.
haven't learned how to manage
And
money,
don't know
prepare for
the
the
first
future, or
thing about
yeah,
managing money because we don't teach that.
we don't
And I
teach it.
think if we went back to teaching financial basics in high school, then maybe the expectation of I'm supposed to have this great, fabulous life will be more realistic. You will realize I got to work for the
Yeah,
crap that I get.
yeah.
It's not just going to fall out of the sky. It's not going to just come
Mhm.
from the ATM when I put the little card in there because I can't even, I don't have never seen my children balance a checkbook.
Yeah, oh, no. I mean, that's not existent now, like, they literally live by, "Let me log on and see what it says my bank balance is."
No, because you might
Like,
have some bills that you
right.
scheduled to come out of that checking
I
account
agree.
and you don't even
I agree.
realize they haven't come out yet and now you broke.
I agree, and I think too, like, they could learn a budget because, like, the one kid who spent over $100 in a week, it was all fast food, 90% of it, fast food, and it's like, when people tell me they don't have any money, I'm like, "What did you spend it on? Like, let me look at your books, let me
Mhm.
help you," like, because me giving you money isn't gonna solve the
No,
problem if you're
absolutely.
doing this every week or every month, but I think the other thing too is if you're a divorced family, they'll just hit up the other parent, like, "Hey, I need some money," and they don't understand that, like, they've been blowing $150 a
You
week.
probably should have a
But
conversation.
yeah,
Go back to the blended family
yeah,
segment
and
we
say
did.
yeah. But I think that's the thing, they want instant I want to go out to, Texas Roadhouse, so I'm gonna go out to Texas Roadhouse. It might be $60, but I got to have my steak, and now it's the next day, and you have no money. Like, I tell the kids, "You never know what's gonna happen." Like, our kids got in trouble this week, they couldn't drive their cars. So they couldn't work, and I was like, "Look it, you lost a week's of
Yeah.
pay. Did you plan for that week of
No,
pay that you weren't gonna
absolutely.
get?
Nope.
Or did you blow all your money and now you're a week behind and now you struggling to catch up?"
And
That's
I
what people I don't think plan ahead, they plan for immediate gratification.
Yeah, and so one thing I did like when I did come into the military way back when, you went to your first duty station, you had to go through a class at the community
Yeah,
center that taught you about writing
finance.
checks and finances, and hey, you can't just blow all your money and be like, life will take care of itself. You need to have an emergency fund. And I stress to my young people all the time, okay, this happened and you need to ask me for money. Where's your emergency fund?
Yep,
Because why am I the emergency fund?
right.
I put my money aside for my emergencies, not yours. But anyway, how do we fix that? I don't know,
I
guys.
don't know either.
Talk to your children. Stop being the bank. I'm talking to myself. Stop being the bank and let's have some real conversations and get down to the nitty gritty about life expectations and what to expect when you're just starting out. That's a conversation you probably should have with your kids. Anyway, give us your thoughts down below. Comment, like, share. And if you know somebody that needs to hear this for themselves, send it to your kids too.
Yeah.
And until next time, bye,
Bye.
guys.